Hey guys, my name's Gayane Moradi. I welcome you on my YouTube channel. I was born in Moscow and I would like to share with you some nice places in Moscow, including different restaurants and cafes. And the places that I know here, even Moscow inhabitants don't know about them. Right now I'm standing near the metro station Mayakovskaya. Let's have a look. By the way, this is a concert hall named after Tchaikovsky. One moment. Okay. About this building, I will tell you something a little bit later. Uh, this is the metro Mayakovskaya. Okay, let's move on. By the way, today is quite warm, 20 degrees. Well, let's start from this monument. This monument is of Vladimir Mayakovsky. Do you remember the metro station name? Yeah. The metro station name is devoted to this man. This is a famous Russian poet. Mayakovsky is famous Russian poet, as I told you. He was born in 1893 and died in 1930. He was born in Georgian village. After his father's death, their family moved to Moscow. An interesting fact, he was excluded from 5th grade at school because of financial problems. He got under arrest 3 times. He was keen on ideas of Marxism. He had never been married. He had, let's say, a muse. The name of his muse was Lila Brick. An interesting fact, Lila Brick committed a suicide at the age of 86. By the way, Mayakovsky also committed a suicide. And there is an interesting fact, Mayakovsky, Lila Brick, and her husband, they used to live all together in one flat. You know, it was the period when the ideas of freedom in marriage, free marriages, they got kind of popular here in Russia. Another interesting fact is that when Mayakovsky went to Paris, he got in love with Russian woman Tatiana Yakovleva, and then he made an agreement with a flower shop that this flower shop should provide Tatiana on a weekly basis with flowers. And Mayakovsky used to pay for these gifts from his fees received from books. Another interesting fact is that when France was occupied by Germans, the flowers that these women received from Mayakovsky, they kind of helped her out because she sold them and got some money to buy food. A few words about this building. It was constructed in about approximately in 1956. This is a 4-star hotel, and the name of the hotel is Pekin Hotel. The architecture style is so-called Stalinist classicism style. The architect's name is Dmitry Chechulin, and this building, the idea of this building and its name It was intended to symbolize friendship between Soviet Union and China. But by the time the building was, you know, by the time the building was constructed and the hotel got into work, suddenly friendship between two countries got cold. Okay, now let's have a look again here. There is entrance of Mayakovskaya metro station, and right here, very close to the entrance, there is a concert hall named after Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky is our Russian famous composer, famous worldwide. Okay, I feel like I'm hungry, and I'm going to show you one interesting and creative place for having a breakfast. I have noticed that even Moscow inhabitants don't know the places that I know. Maybe I'm more curious. I don't know. But I think the place is really nice. So I'm moving towards the hotel. While I'm moving to the hotel, we can enjoy all the atmosphere here. Sorry for trembling camera. So here I'm gonna turn right. Okay, I'm going to enter here. Let's discover a new and creative place opened by two nice ladies. Well, this place, as you have noticed, is named Eggsellent. And the first part of the name, there is written egg. So they specialize on breakfast, on dishes with eggs. Uh, this is my dish, and on the menu it's called English breakfast. Another interesting fact, the company that the owners had opened, and through that company they had opened this restaurant, is if I translate it directly into English, it's like girls with eggs. But the thing is that in Russian, the word that means egg also it means balls, male balls. So there is a phrase when we say that this woman is with balls, we mean that this is a strong woman, confident woman, independent, and so on. It's a very funny phrase that is quite often used in Russian, and I guess that the owners of this place they have a very nice sense of humor because they called themselves girls with eggs. So guys, keep in mind this place. Very well balanced food because they use, high quality ingredients. That's why food tastes well, natural. Okay, I move on. Well, now I'm getting back to that main street. As you remember, this is Mayakovskaya station. There is a concert hall named after Tchaikovsky, famous Russian composer. Then we see the Satire Theatre. You know, all these buildings are quite old. For example, the concert hall, it was found, this building, in 1933. The Satire Theatre was found in 1924. And after Satire Theatre, one moment. So this is Satire Theatre. There mostly you can watch comedies. And after Satire Theatre, it's not visible here, but if you get into that garden, there is another theatre. It's called Mossovet Theatre. It was found in 1923. So now I will walk along the street and see what happens. This is a famous brand of boho clothes named Unique Fabric. If I'm not mistaken, it originates from St. Petersburg. Boho style nowadays is quite famous here, popular, I mean. More and more ladies turn into this style. It's called like freedom style, style of freedom, and so on. This is a cafe called Stolle. It's also from St. Petersburg. They specialize on different pies. As they say, the recipes come from the 19th century. Well, you can have a try because they create pies with different products, sweet and non-sweet. Moscow is also popular for its traffic jams, unfortunately. It's the destiny of any big city. Most of the buildings are from the 20th century and 19th. I think this building has quite interesting architecture. I forgot to tell you that the name of the street, Sadova-Kudrinskaya Street. For example, here it's written Sadova-Kudrinskaya 25. Here it's written Children's Hospital named after Filatov. Later I will tell you a few words about that place. Sometimes small places like this serve very nice coffee. Yeah, it happens. You just need to know the places. Well, there is a saying that Moscow habitants, they are keen on drinking tea. But to my mind, if we analyze nowadays, I think today's Moscow inhabitants, they really love coffee. And the coffee culture is getting more and more popular here. This is the hospital for children and infants named after Filatov. Yeah. As you see, the building is not from the 20th century. I guess it's 19th century. Let's check. Yeah, it's 19th century. Here it's written. Well, as I told you that this building deserves some attention. I mean, the hospital named after Filatov. It was found somewhere in 1842. And, you know, there was a problem. In the middle of the 19th century, children that were born, about 50% of born children, they lived only till 6 years. And they died. So medicine was not developed at times to help, you know, properly children. So General Golitsyn started to search for money. He arranged fundraising, and they collected money from rich men of that time. They opened this hospital, and after 5 years, the hospital started to accept infants. You know, it was unique because at that time in the world there were no any other hospitals that could accept infants and help them. So that's why I think that this place deserves attention and so on. But we will move on. In Russian language, this type of buildings are called доходные дома. You know, in 20th century, there were rich people that used to, to pay money for creating this type of buildings, and there they used to, give for a ransom apartments. Here I'm passing. This is a federal anti-monopoly service. It's this is a governmental building. Uh, Maybe you know, but they search for economic some economic crimes. But I think this building is nice. Reminds of that time. This building nowadays it's also a usual building that has apartments, but it also used to be доходный дом. I mean, it was built by some rich man of that time who ordered the building of these places. Nowadays, of course, the apartments that are in these buildings, they belong to private personalities, of course. This is one of the famous universities. It's called Law University. It has its history. You know, in Soviet time, this place used to be very great. A lot of great lawyers, graduated this place. So there is written Moscow State University named after Kutafin. This is, by the way, this is Kutafin. We can observe a lot of students. You know, it is considered that it's very difficult to get enrolled to this university. Nowadays, I don't know what's the situation and how much is, you mean annual payment, because some people, they enter there for free, but some have to pay. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I have graduated that university as well, but it was 2005. I was told that there were no places to study for free all the places are occupied, and they told me that I should pass exams for commercial places. Well, as far as it is considered one of the best universities in Russia, it means that prices getting higher and higher. By the way, this building, this pink building, this one, this is the museum of Chekhov. Chekhov is also a very famous Russian writer, but he is also famous worldwide. In Moscow, we have Central Zoo. This is a zoo, one of the entrances, but this is not considered the main entrance. Anyway, this place is very popular among children, and so on. So I guess somewhere here, Sadova-Kudrinskaya Street is finished, and I want to change my direction. I'm going to move to that side of the street. It's written Spiridonovka Street, also considered to be a very central part of Moscow. As you see, there is a mixture of old buildings from 20th century, from the beginning of 20th century, also buildings from Soviet times, even from 19th century. So here is no particular architecture style. Now I will turn again. So I'm turning to another street that leads to the Patriarch, as I told you. Well, this street is called Big Patriarch Lane. I'm moving along this street. As you may have noticed, this place. Why is this place so fashionable? Because this place is full of different restaurants, gastro places, and so on. Okay, this famous place and fashionable part of Moscow is called the Patriarch Pond. Although there is only one pond, I'm gonna move closer there. Do you recognize this building? We have seen it from another side of the street. Well, Moscow habitants call this place the Patriarch. It's full of different restaurants. For some reason, this place is considered to be fashionable. A lot of people like to spend here their time, weekends, evenings, and so on. But I think that this place is famous for another Russian writer. By the way, this part of Moscow, as it is considered the center of Moscow and it is considered to be one of the most fashionable parts of Moscow, medium old apartment, not of a good quality, here may cost about 400,000 US dollars. For us, I mean, for Moscow residents, it's quite expensive. Funny, isn't it? Do you see an elephant here? I guess every country has its own fairy tales, and you can understand a lot from a mentality or country through its fairy tales. Here at the Patriarch Ponds, we see a monument of Krylov. Krylov is also a famous Russian writer. This monument was found in 1976, I guess. Krylov was born in 1769, and he is considered to be a very famous fables writer. You know, his works, they are studied at school and they are really famous. I mean, it's the part of Russian culture that is included into our education. Well, I told you that this place is considered to be fashionable, cool, uh, very popular, and so on. But I think that this place is famous for another Russian writer, Bulgakov. Bulgakov was born in 1891 and he died approximately in 1940. He is famous for his novel called Master and Margarita. And here in this district, you can discover, you know, some restaurants named after the novel. For example, there at the corner, there is a restaurant named Margarita. If you go back to Mayakovskaya station, there is another bar named Masters and Margaritas, and so on. So the interesting thing is that this novel is full of details from this region, from this place, from these streets. For example, the novel starts with the meeting of two heroes, and according to this novel, they meet exactly here at the Patriarch Ponds. Also, Bulgakov used to live in this district as well. There is a sad fact about his life. He was dependent on morphine, and as I understand, he died because of this problem. His book that he wrote, this novel, Master and Margarita, even after his death, there are, this, how to say, like fingerprints of morphine. So I'm still walking along this pond. And you know, I'm thinking that all these places from today, they are interesting because of personalities that used to live here. I guess so. By the way, this novel, Master and Margarita, the writer used to write for 10 years and it's still not finished, you know? Yeah, for example, this place is called Margarita. It's a restaurant. They also serve breakfast. Oh, even now it's full of people. By the way, it's quite difficult to find a parking place in the center of Moscow. I guess this situation is going on in any big town, in any big city. Now I'm passing, in Russian it's written Малый Казихинский переулок, like small Казихинский lane. Okay, this interesting house is located at the address so-called Трехпрудный Lane 8. This place is also famous for its ex-habitants. Famous Russian poet Marina Tsvetaeva used to live here. Also, this building is called the House of Poets. Let's have a look. Balcony is quite impressive. You know, strange thing is that all these writers that I mentioned you, they had a very difficult life. I mean, full of poetry. I mean, they had a very difficult life financially. And the thing is that nowadays, the places that they used to live, they are considered to be fashionable and expensive. So this is so-called, it's written Dom Poetov, House of Poets. There you can visit events like live music, poetry, and so on. I still feel, you know, this atmosphere, old atmosphere, interesting feelings, you know. Yeah, this part is definitely not modern. Time has stopped here. There is a writing on this building. It's written Товарищество скоропечатели Винсон. It used to be a very famous typography. So there, also written Levinson. And this building's architect's name is Shechtel. Shechtel is very famous Moscow architect. There are a lot of beautiful works of him. This typography was built in 1900. This is Yermolaevsky Lane. By the way, this building is also the project of the architect Schechtel. And from here, I'm getting back to that main street where I was walking along today. So I'm going to Sadovaya Kudrinskaya Street. I think now you already know the street. This building is the Hotel Pekin. It's written the house of Bulgakov, Большая Sadovaya Street, number 10. Let's see what's going on here. Hey guys, as I told you, I entered in the so-called Bulgakovsky house. Bulgakovsky house is a private museum and they also have a cafeteria. You can have some time here, so I've ordered muffin and tea made in the way of Bulgakovs, it's written. This place is very interesting, and today I've known some new interesting facts of his life. For example, today I was told about interesting fact that uh, he was not dependent on morphine during all his life. So I kind of got over that sickness. And some people think that he used to write Master and Margarita under, the effect of this drug. But today, by the tour guide, I was told that it's not true. Also, I was told that he had been married 3 times, and the third wife, uh, her image was used in his novel Master and Margarita, and also he had different periods as a writer in his life. He had successful periods and also very unsuccessful when Soviet government kind of um, prohibited him to work here, and he wrote official letter to the government asking either to move abroad from the Soviet Union or to receive a job here, and he received a special answer from Soviet Union leader Stalin. And when he talked to Stalin, Stalin gave him a job in the theater. By the way, Bulgakov was born in Kiev in a very big family. And another interesting fact is that he had dreamed about becoming an opera singer, but his dream couldn't come true because his father died quite early, uh, at the age of 50, and at that moment Bulgakov didn't have any opportunity and chances to think about his dreams. So he graduated from medical university and he had worked a lot as a doctor, and he has a lot of novels from his medical practice. Do you remember I told you about Chekhov, another famous writer? And Chekhov also was a doctor. And also I told you that those writers who used to be doctors, somehow they were really talented in writing. It's interesting. In the same yard, there is a flat number 50. In Russian, it is called Nehoroshe Kvartira. It's the flat where Bulgakov lived. It's not private museum, it's state museum. So guys, I've entered here. So this is the yard.